Welcome everyone, my name is Spiidey, and today I'm here with a different type of video from what I've been doing lately. Today's video is mostly just a commentary video. I'll just be speaking my mind out about certain things in the game, some certain things that I'm not the biggest fan of. Basically it's just a video about my complaints with the game right now. And like this, I had the idea to do this because of my latest video. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, which is where I make a team. Basically, it's a speed run, no stall, and no special team against Kid Forest. Basically, just to show the power creep that has happened in the game with the release of units like Gear 5 and the brand new Sanji Zoro, for instance. The power creep has gone like way too high right now in the game, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing because like evolution is needed and the game needs to continue to improve itself, but with that power creep comes some other issues, which is, for instance, the fact that we haven't had a training forest in years. We saw in that video that we've reached a point where Kid Forest could literally be done by free-to-play characters of today's day and age, and like without using a single special or just speedrunning through it like it's nothing. And that's not that. With that comes also like the hard challenges, the hardest difficulty ones, all of that. Like we've come to a place where that's basically nothing. The difficulty on that is nothing. And just a reminder, and for people that were not playing back in the day, those like Kid Forest and Hawkins Forest were the hardest content in the game for a long time. Only you need to really invest time to think and to make a team for it. And now you can just assemble a couple characters and just blast through it, like ignoring every defensive effect, ignoring every debuff, ignoring everything, and just blast through it. And that's not great because, in my opinion, training forests are an amazing piece of content to test new units, to test your abilities, to actually make teams for like really long content, and that's not been happening. So I really wished we had more forests in today's day and age, because like there's no reason for us not to have like forests anymore. For instance, let's take a look at something that happened recently too, which is the fact that we just got 4 new ships, which were One Piece movie related ships. We had one from Zephyr, one from Shiki, Tesoro, and Bullet. So there's no need, and the fact is that none of those ships were actually for a new forest. That was really disappointing. All of those you had to buy somewhere, and that was literally just a lost opportunity to actually make a new forest, because from the moment that you want to release a ship based on movies, and if you release 4, like one of them could be from a forest, where it's just a forest based on movie characters. Like you have so many movie characters, you could very easily make a forest with 20 stages all around movie characters, and make it actually challenging for the new characters and all of that. There's no reason why you can't do that. And like, I don't know, with that and the fact that there's no forests is not the only issue with lack of content, because we also have no more arenas. Like arenas apparently just died in the game. We haven't had an arena for a long time now, which like arenas was and still is my favorite type of content in the game. And the fact that there's no more arenas, it sucks. Like why is there no more arenas? And even the ones that we already have, some of them are not even in the archive anymore, which I don't really understand why, because like the content is in the files of the game. So why can't you just allow people to play it? Because there, I think it's only, I could be wrong, but I think there's only one arena which is not in there, which is Arena Katarina Devon, which again I don't understand why, but it is what it is. And like there's a lot of possibilities to use on Arena. Like it's not a long stage where you would need a lot of characters and a lot of debuffs like a forest. It's literally just a 5-stage game mode where you can actually make it designed for certain units, but that it's actually not difficult enough. It's like it's somewhat difficult, but not difficult enough, like a Grand Voyage, where you can actually use other teams and play around with other characters. So I really don't understand why, again, no more forests, no arenas. We are basically lacking contents to actually play, and for like content creators, we are lacking contents to make videos on, because there's no, from the point that there's no arenas, there's no forests, there's nothing that is actually challenging for the new units, then there's no use for us to make videos about the new units. Like we're not going to run Gear 5 against, or Gear 5 and Sanji Zoro, for instance, against, let's say, Arena Brook. Like we run it and we make videos on it because we have nothing else to do, and because if we want to actually make content, we just try and explore with the little stuff that we have right now. And even if you like don't want to make new stuff, why not put everything that was already in the game in the archive? The archive was was so hyped up, everyone likes it and liked it, so why not just make like every Colosseum that there ever was, every free-to-play event, every arena, why not make all of that be part of the archive? Why just some Colosseums? Why just some arenas? Why just some free-to-play characters, like random? Like, if there was an event for a certain character, why can't that event be in the game anymore? For people to actually play and get the character? Because the game is just, basically, it's just recycling the content that, like, we are trying to recycle the content that we already have over and over again, because there's no old content for us to play, there's no new content for us to play. We just have the same exact content, and then every month is treasure map Kizuna, treasure map Kizuna, treasure map Kizuna, and then we have Grand Party 2, which like it's not something we have, like PvP, treasure map Kizuna, Grand Party, and it just repeats over and over again. And like from that, like even those modes that we just get, like constantly repeating every month, even like free to play, even treasure map, which was one of the bases for like the big free to play character of the month, was like the treasure map character that we would get, which we could make videos on. It would be a huge unit for like the following treasure maps. It's a good unit that we can play for, and now we don't even have that anymore. The treasure maps, like treasure map doesn't get you free to play characters anymore, and you basically just get skulls to super evolve a Pirate King Adventures character, where the super evolution is not like really doesn't change enough for it to be worth farming the skulls for. There's like, I don't know, I think it's pretty dumb. Like we've seen with, let's take a look at, for instance, the previous Luffy that we got from BKA. We had that Luffy, and then on treasure map we got the skulls to super evolve him, but the super evolution basically only gave us one more turn of debuff removal and like something else. It wasn't really like anything crazy, but the unit was like same type, same classes, like everything else was the same. So I don't get, like that's not like it's a new unit. It's just the exact same unit with a very small buff that doesn't make it worth it. Like that doesn't make them worth playing. And like you can't just force people to play it for a few skulls and then expect people to actually enjoy what they are doing, because they won't. Like there's no reward for playing treasure map for like free to play players. And I think the game is not really paying attention to free to play players anymore, which are still the most majority of it, even if the pay to win players are the ones that give the game and the devs money to keep on like having the game on. The like free to play players are the ones that have like they are in majority. So why not actually make content that they can play? And another issue that comes with this is that, for instance, something that has been bothering me and a few players, which is the brand new Ace. Ace, like the Ace, is a really good unit, and I get that it's not made for free-to-play players, like for them to be able to max it straight away. But even for old players and players that play the game constantly and they actually spend some money on it, it's actually really hard to max it, because it's really expensive in some regards. For instance, no one apart from the people that actually spend hundreds of money on the game every month are going to have 1,000 medal exchange like medals to spend on an Ace dupe just for a level limit break or for a final tap. And like even Rumble, like the Rumble amount I'm somewhat okay-ish with, like 30k is a lot, but it is what it is. But the 1000 from the medal exchange and the 50k points from TM, the 50k tickets that you have to spend from TM on this Ace, I think it's an absurd, because 50k tickets like gives you a lot of materials to be able to actually have materials for the rest of the month. Since another thing, right now treasure map is our only source of materials for the entire month. Like if you do not farm for those 3 days like crazy, you will not have materials for every unit that we are getting every month, which is, again, I don't know why. Like Blitz gives you some materials, but it's not enough, and you only have Blitz from 3 to 3 months. So I don't know why treasure map is still the only source of materials that we have in the game. And giving up on 50k tickets that could give you a lot of materials because you want an Ace dupe, I think it's a waste, especially because you also need those same materials to actually get like to limit break expand Ace, to limit break and limit break expand Ace, because you cannot have access to his third ability without limit break expanding him, and his limit break expansion is the most expensive limit break in the game by far. You need over 300 of medium materials of each type, and like I don't know why, like there's no need for that. And I don't know, the game is starting to lose control of itself. I don't think that the devs really know which route to go for right now, because in one moment they are trying to give us everything and then they just don't want to give us anything. And I think we should have at least content to play, because getting so many characters but nothing to use them on is not the best. Like it makes the characters useless and makes you want to pull less, which makes you want to